understand mistakes. I do. My place is in the classroom.
The world is counting on you.
This might be very hard for you to understand. But some people are not good at things.
You know who you are. You're gonna do great.
I conquered zero-G in 5 hours. Yeah!
Object approaching.
Oh my God. So, I met an alien. He's kind of growing on me. At least he's not growing in me, you know, which was a concern for a little while. I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. No, that's thumbs down. We do the thumbs up. It's close enough.
All right, so Ricardo, I did not get any chance to watch Project Hail Mary. I know, I suck, right? I really wanted to see this in theaters because I was hearing a lot of great things about it. I mean, for one thing, it is, if I'm not mistaken, the second book from Andy Weir to be put to screen, right? I mean, the first one, of course, is the masterpiece that is The Martian, right? Just one of the, just a great optimistic and very logical approach to, you know, science fiction and just, science is shit out of things, right? You know, it's just that, listen, just focus, keep your head down, figure out your shit, and you'll survive, right? That to me is like the message of the Martian, right? You know, great film, right? One of the best films in the 2010s, right? But yeah, didn't get a chance to see this in theaters. I don't know if it would have been worth seeing in IMAX. I hear some people saying, yeah, go see this in IMAX, right? But yeah, you know, life got in the way. I just had a lot of work to do over the past 3 days, so I didn't get a chance to see it, right? My hope is, you know, that I will see it, you know, theatrically, or at least before it comes out on digital, right? You know, because I'd much rather see it theatrically, right? But if it comes out to be seen it on digital, fine, so be it. But it is a show that I absolutely will not miss, and I really want to see it before year's end, right? But yeah, Ricardo, take it away. I kind of have a feeling in mind that this could be the best of, but I guess you'll let me know during the review. But yeah, Ricardo, take it away. As a huge fan of The Martian, your thoughts on the film and, of course, what you know, Project Hail Mary was about.
Right. It's about, you know, Grace and Rocky. Scientist by name of Grace, played by Ryan Gosling. He's pretty good in this. He has a whole new material. So basically, something is happening to the sun, and what you learn is there's not too much of a spoiler, but basically, what you learn is the sun is being basically chewed on. Something is eating the sun, and you find out only one other star, roughly 11 light years from Earth, is not affected, called Tau. And you had to find out why this not happening, and you basically will learn why ultimately at the end. But it's the big thing is Gosling playing Grace. He's a scientist who have to make sense of. He had a theory about certain ideas of life, and it was kind of verified because of the big crisis and this thing doing something to the sun, which is basically causing some kind of global cooling, which would be a problem for us. It'll drop temperatures very, very low, and that could cause all kind of problems for us. And he have to get there, so they do it where it's in the quote unquote present time, and then flashbacks as to how he got to that point as a teacher. And he kind of ruined his career because he's a big time. He had a PhD in molecular biology, ruined his career with some bad behavior. So he teaching middle school, but he doing his thing, and then he's called upon by the Earth's governments to solve this problem. He does solve it, and then he have to go to space to solve it. And then in space he meets an alien. And this is when it gets interesting because the alien roughly pick up the same problem with their star, with their star, and it's just that back and forth with Grace and Rocky, and I kind of loved it. I thought this was pretty good. A lot less serious than I felt it should have been, and somebody nitpicky, you know, like it's a lot softer than, obviously for a story like this, the science for the most part have to be a lot softer than say what The Martian was, right? Because you have to do a lot of speculation as to what life could be like and what thing, and it get a lot more speculative, but it's fine because, you know, it's still within the working framework of how scientists speculate about what these things could be, and it feels like the last, I don't know, roughly 10 to 20 years of it's space stuff. So it's like it pull a little bit of Interstellar, a little bit of Sunshine, a little bit of, and then it come back together, and it really feels like, well, this is what Weir's attempt on this. But the reason why it mainly works is because of Gosling, and then the directors. Yeah, we get we boys, the men who do Lego Movie, Lord and Miller.
Yes, Lord and Miller, right? Yes, I should know
Right.
these
So Lord and
names
Miller,
by
yeah,
heart,
Lord and
bro.
Miller was kind of cooking with this. They just come together. You could debate if it was. I think it probably was a little too funny. Like that's the only thing that it just took away some of the seriousness, and I felt they should have played a little more straight instead of the humor. It was stuff that characters who I felt was they put in humorous places didn't really work. That's the only thing that just kind of bothered me slightly about this. That was it. Not a big deal. But it had a lot of moments where I felt they could have make it work. Another thing is, again, you have to nitpick. Again, it's one of those classic examples, much like with other sci-fis, that from a book, the book was better, right? It's one of those. It's kind of like with Contact or whatever. It's fine. But they could have made the one of the big promises is, again, yeah, if you're a super scientist, you'd notice the problems and the issues. But if for a crowd pleasing moment, it totally works. This was pretty good. A little long. I feel it could have probably cut some of the flashbacks. Some of the flashbacks I felt could have cut. Like it had this one scene involving them going to Home Depot or well, something like Home Depot, and it's like, yeah, I would have cut this, but it's fine. Like they make it work. And I really love this one though. It's really solid stuff. It's really fun. Again, Ryan Gosling is excellent in this. What they do with Rocky and Ellie, it have a funny like bit with Rocky in terms of a name, like a certain name and somebody else name. I was like, oh yeah, right. That's like good pop culture jokes, self awareness. Yeah, they live in the world. And I dig stuff like that. And yeah, it's no surprise it's from the guys who do the Jump Street movies and Spider Verse and all these things. It's just they had to make it funny. But I felt if it did play more serious, I probably it might have worked for me. But you need to cater to the crowd pleasing thing, so it's fine. It don't feel like necessarily dumbed down too much. Given the amount of speculation you have to engage in with respect to what the like core conceit is, especially basically involving the ideas behind the origins of life and how we think about life and whatnot. No? That is where things get kind of wonky for some people. I can imagine that. But like from a crowd pleasing blockbuster moment, you will thoroughly enjoy this. And we just had a fun sci-fi with Good Luck Don't Die, Have Fun the other day, and it's same kind of tone with this one. I thought, for me at least, somewhat similar tone, very zany at parts, very fun, especially when Rocky enters the picture. And it's really really fun stuff, and they make it work. Yeah, I enjoy this one. Probably going to make the best of the year, probably. More than likely, I'd argue. And it again, you probably had to go see it in IMAX. I didn't see it in IMAX. My screen was you had to sit down in front to get the IMAX experience in quotes. But yeah, if you see it in IMAX, you'll probably really enjoy it because it has some really great shots, especially involving the quote unquote astrophage. Where they had to see it in a particular type of light, and everything in red and weird. I like, okay, that does look real cool. The ending is great. That last shot is a final shot. Love it. Love that ending. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. This was a fun one. A little long. That's only major issue. It could have played. If it was up to me, I'd have played it a little more serious, played it a little more straight. But I dug it for what it was, and yeah, it's mostly because Gosling is excellent at this. Like he really really holds it, and I had a lot of fun with this one. So yeah, written. Yeah, I'll still give it a pretty high score. For me, in my own humble opinion, I think it should get like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. The minor nitpicks is not big deals. If you want a super nitpick, the problem is that given the nature of the story, you have to speculate about the sci-fi. So I don't know, it didn't bother me too much. Given what we know or what smart people actually speculate about it, it works for the most part. Given the nature of the story, and where's the kind of guy that'll be conscientious enough to give that? We got that with the book. The book is, from what I understand, the book is a lot better, all things considered. So is that. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Loved it. Minor nitpicks, but yeah, I'm more like gonna make the effort to go see it a second time.
All right, all right, all right. Well, as you mentioned the book now, I'm now wondering how difficult in quotes it would have been for Lord and Miller to adapt the book, right? Because you don't wanna dumb down the book, but at the same time, or the material, but at the same time, you don't want to make it too complicated that the average viewer, especially those who paying money to see it in theaters, don't understand what's going on, right? So maybe that's why the comedic bits that you say didn't work for you. Maybe that's why they did in the first place, right? At least for all I know, right? Yeah, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and like I said, I will make the effort to see it, hopefully theatrically, but if not, watch it home. But yeah, for sure, I'm definitely gonna watch that before years, and I have a feeling this more than likely will make it in my best of as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna have you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Again, from what I understand, yeah, I got it. The movie, designed for our audience. Like, sorry to say, movies kind of have to do that. It's classic movie better than book or book better than movie problem, right? And the book is more realistic, or at least feels more realistic than the book. But they nail it in terms of like just what they do is they don't try to make it super self-serious, like say what Arrival was or something like that, or even like Interstellar. It's just more to have fun, and is it really they really designed it to be a cloud piece. It clearly these are conscious decisions. So I didn't have a problem with it from that standpoint. So it's that. I'm not sure if this would have been. A lot of people say that it could have been on
Netflix.
yeah, like a little mini series, like a little 5 or 4 episodes, something maybe.
That could have
probably
okay, I was thinking about it,
Yeah.
like if it was released as is as a
I
movie.
find as a film, as a single film, it felt long. It felt pretty long, and I don't know if it could have worked as a miniseries as it is. We don't know. Whatever, it's fine. But I think putting it out in theaters is a smart call. It done making a ton of cash already.
Which is always great.
Exactly. So I don't really mind that. It doing good numbers already. So like yeah, I'm happy with that. So yeah. Solid stuff, all things considered. I dug it.
Nice.